Hey guys! Welcome to the Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition Power Gamers Tactics Room. This is your host, Bobron Bafflestone, and I'm his assistant, Adelina. Today we're having another episode of our review and rating series, today talking about Gothic Lineages.
Yeah, so Unearthed Arcana came out with 3 new races, the Gothic Lineages, and pretty exciting. I'm a little gothy myself, and so I love the flavor of these races, and looking at them, I'm a little bit impressed. So let's take a look and see what we've got here. So I'm just going to talk about the mechanics of these things. I've already mentioned that I love the role-playing side of things, and I am 100% uninterested in all of the drama going on about how the races are changing and how they're changing the whole approach to all that. I really don't care. Just tell me what the rules are and I'll play by them. And so when I look at these races mechanically, I have to say that they are pretty overpowered. I'm guessing that when they finally get released, they're going to be nerfed a little bit. But, who knows? Power creep is a thing, so maybe they are going to go in as, as they're presented here. So first up, we have the Dhampir. So it is a humanoid and undead. They're doing this weird, dual type thing, and they have special rules for it. You can be affected by abilities that affect either of your types. But this one comes with dark vision. It comes with a base speed of 35, even though you can be small or medium. So a small creature zipping around at speed 35 is pretty interesting. And they get spider climb. Fully online, always on at level 3. It's just a climb speed at levels 1 and 2, but that is amazing. And then they get vampiric bite, which is really weird because it's a natural attack that's based on constitution. I guess the more vital you are, the more blood or what have you can suck in one round. And it's pretty impressive. You get attacks at advantage when you're under half your hit points. And a proficiency times per day, you can empower, which means that you heal equal to the damage dealt or add it as a bonus to an ability check or an attack bonus. So this is an absolutely wicked stack of abilities. Incredible mobility. With that 35-foot move and spider climb, I mean, man, really nice combination that's going to give you some really nice defensive options. As I mentioned, it is interesting to get the speed on a small creature, and the con-based attack is very unusual. Now, check with the DM to see if stacked damage bumps increase the vampiric bite abilities, right? Like Hex or Hexblade's Curse, Spirit Shroud, Hunter's Mark, things like that. Because rules as written, it seems to me like they should, but the bumps can get pretty crazy if you're stacking stuff on there, so the DM might just say it's OP. I don't know. If we go rules as written, it seems very impressive. The healing option is okay, but what really gets my attention is the bump to attack bonus. Even at a limited number of uses, that's pretty standout. The synergy with Great Weapon Master power attack versus high AC enemies really stands out to me. And in regards to being undead, I don't see too many benefits, and there are a few downsides. It can be nice if you have an ally who's an Oathbreaker Paladin and you can be in his aura of hate. Otherwise, it seems like it's all negatives to me. You can be turned, you can be affected by things like protection from good and evil, and hollow and magic circle, and all of those things. You can still be affected by cure wounds and such because of the new rules change, but that is a little bit of a knock. And of course, there are possible role-playing issues. If you're walking around as a undead monstrosity, you might not get the best reception at the local tavern. And there does seem to be solid synergy with the monk here. The bite can be treated as a monk weapon, and then just that enhanced speed and spider climb seems to have pretty good synergy with the monk skill set. So really, really impressed with the Dhampir. I give it a rating of superior. Moving on to the Hexblood, I am equally impressed. Humanoid plus Fey. Fey is definitely better than being undead. Also comes with dark vision. They get Fey Resilience, which is much like Fey Ancestry. And then they get Hex Magic, which is Amaze Balls, and Magic Token, which is interesting. So another excellent stack of abilities. Fey Resilience is weirdly worded. No immunity to sleep like Fey Ancestry. So I don't know why they didn't just kind of reprint that block, but hey, I guess I don't work for them. The 2 free spells as a racial is elite. I mean, compared to the High Elf, they get a cantrip. These guys get 2 free spells, and they can cast them with later spell slots, which is really nice. I really kind of hope they retroactively fix all of the other spells that are written in a similar way, but don't specify that you can use them with spell slots. And Disguise Self is a really nice utility spell for the interaction phase. I actually have it always available on Bilbron Bafflestone because he's a trickster cleric, and that is a nice little bug. And then, of course, Hex is one of the best attack spells in the game, so the ability to pick it up without a feat or a dip is pretty fantastic. Choosing the linked attribute is also excellent. And the magic token is an interesting utility option. I mean, it's great for comms, great for spying, really interesting role-playing aspect to it. Good synergy with sleight of hand because you're going to want to slip that token into somebody's pouch if you want to spy on them. And pretty good synergy with your familiar who can carry it around, and it will extend the range at which you can see through his senses or see through that area. I mean, you're not seeing through his senses with this, but you know what I mean. Again, the weird issues with the dual types, and again, possible role-playing issues because Hexbloods look super weird, but they do have Disguise Self, so that's going to be a lot of help in that regard. The final Gothic lineage is the Reborn, and I feel like this is the worst one of the bunch. It's not particularly creative. I mean, it looks a lot like the Warforged variant to me, although not quite as good. I do think the +1 AC that the Warforged gets is better than Knowledge from a Past Life, and that's really the only difference between the two races. They have good defenses from Deathless Nature. The 4-hour long rest can be very good if the campaign allows for downtime to be leveraged. It's pretty clearly worded, unlike Elf Trance, which apparently Elf Trance you still need 8 hours to complete a long rest. That gets a little confusing, but here they make it pretty clear. 4 hours, long rest, you're done. And Knowledge from a Past Life is okay. First of all, it's unclear as to whether you add it before the roll or after the roll. And I guess it's decent to get a bump to your athletics, your perception, your investigation, your stealth. You do have the issues with the dual type, but between the two, it seems to me that Construct is better. It just seems to have fewer vulnerabilities, and it does offer some synergies, like with the Battlesmith Artificer, because the Steel Defender can heal you. And again, like all of these Gothic lineages, there are possible role-playing issues. So overall, I'm really impressed with these races. I gave Dhampir a superior, the Hexblood a superior, and the Reborn a good. And so I've slipped them into my overall ranking of the races, which I have taken from my previous video on races. And so we can see that I've slid the Dhampir and the Hexblood into the superior category, put the Reborn into the good category, and then there are a couple of other races that are highlighted in purple as well, because based on feedback to my previous video, I decided to bump them up a little bit. So Half-Elves and Turtles are in the good category now, and Mark of Handling Humans are in the average category now. So overall, these Gothic lineages look really strong by comparison to the other races, 2 superiors and a good, and I'm fine with that. I have no problem with power creep. I kind of like it, frankly, so it's all good. I wouldn't mind playing a Dhampir for sure. That one seems to me to be the best one, but like I said, they're all pretty good.
Well, we're over. That was our analysis on Gothic lineages. If you agree or disagree, please tell us in the comments below. Overall, thank you so much for watching our video. This is your host, Bilbron Bafflestone, and I'm his assistant, Adelina. See you next time.